Welcome to my newest show, Mastering the Rift. We're going to do it one champion at a time, and today's episode is featuring Ryze. Are you ready?
So when I started this champion for my very first episode of Mastering the Rift, I figured it would be goddamn impossible to accomplish the goal that I was setting out to do, seeing how he has one of the worst win rates in solo queue. I mean, historically, a shit champion among the halls of AIDS and cancer and AFKs that is known as solo queue. Ryze is weak as fuck blue man. In a meta that favors strong early game aggression, he pales in comparison. Quite fucking literally. But with the advice that I've learned from my 65 plus games, I hope that I can help you learn how to rise and maybe not have as many losses as I did along my way. How you can affect the map, overall win games, dude, I'm telling you, there's a possibility you can do something with Ryze with the help of this video. This dude is old as fuck and has been reworked so many goddamn times. It's a bigger meme than better nerf Irelia or please bring back Earth or where the fuck is Graves Cigar. Dude has his own cinematic trailer and has been played on the world stage more than damn near any other champion. This dude has written the goddamn fates of many pro players looking to trump Faker. Also, niggas, has the entire world song named after him. Literally, a song for Worlds 2018 named after this bitch-ass bitch. So it's time that we learn how to play this motherfucking beast. Alright, look, I'm not trying to lie to you here, okay? I kind of want to be a very honest person when it comes to my videos and, my personality overall. Because if I gotta lie to kick it, then I don't really want to kick it, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so my first games on Ryze were total shit. I mean, my performance was abysmal. Then I started to get the groove and learn the champion. Understanding that Ryze is all about fucking understanding and controlling your minion wave, and just fucking raking in that massive CS lead with that outstanding wave clear. So, once you start to get your groove and learn how the champion works and what role you're supposed to play in each and every matchup, you start to just fucking take off. And then you start gaining 20, 30, 40 CS leads, and you just become unapproachable by any individual on the map. And if the game goes on long enough and you're not fucking retarded and you've itemized correctly based on who is getting fed, you will decimate. So here's what I'm talking about. You have to learn to adjust your builds based on whom is getting fed and trying your hardest to carry and absorbing as much money as possible because Ryze is an expensive champion that scales really well with levels and his passive. Each game, you gotta put focus on taking down turrets and absorbing resources, waiting for the power spikes and understanding which ones those are. You're gonna have a first power spike, a second power spike, and a final power spike that makes you goddamn unkillable. You're going to have to adjust your build very often. Sometimes tank stats will outweigh those spicy damage items. Ryze is unique in the fact that tank stats can still benefit your damage output. Getting a little more utility will push this champion further. So if you're wondering what tank items to build, it's rather simple. Because you always want to get something that benefits your passive, but also makes you fucking unkillable. So you're going to be getting a tier and a Rod of Ages anyway. Those are your first power spike items. So if their ADC got fed, and let's be honest, it's solo queue, so they probably did, you're going to grab a Frozen Heart. If their APC got fed, which they shouldn't have because you're playing safe and you're playing Ryze, but an Abyssal Mask is never a bad idea. It gives you both magic resist health and that spicy mana. If you are playing a bad team comp and you do not have the best teamfight capabilities, but you're looking to get catches or picks in the jungle, you need to get a Righteous Glory. In fact, Righteous Glory has the highest win rate at 67% on Ryze. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't seem like an item for an APC to have. Ryze can do very well with Righteous Glory. Now, you're going to have to adjust your build constantly and often hit tab to find out which champions are going to be problematic for you. You're going to want to be off in solo lanes, grabbing as much CS as possible, and then ulting in and fucking nuking a motherfucker. Late enough in the game, not a single person can contest Ryze other than a handful of champions, and odds are they're not going to be in the game. And if they are, you have to identify them and play around those situations. Ryze is a powerhouse if he can make it to his power spike items, which we're going to go over right now. Alright, man, we're going to be talking about the very, very fundamental way to play Ryze. So, with Ryze, I often back and I most constantly run TP. Phase Rush is my most common thing. I'll probably put the runes here on the screen as well. But right now we're going to be talking about these items, because this is where tastiness comes into play. So the way that it's going to work is you're typically going to start with a mana crystal, and the refillable potion. Okay? Now, I love to do it this way. So my first back, I typically back as soon as I hit 500 gold to pick up a tier. Now, it only costs 500 gold because we've already started with a crystal, so we've already, cut out 350 of that. Now, the reason why I do that, and I typically have to back at 500 gold, is because I'm out of mana already. Because I typically just get every CS I can get, even if it costs abilities. I don't even worry about my lane opponent. I don't even cast abilities on them. I just make sure I get every form of CS that I can possibly get and try and get my 500 gold and back as soon as possible. Now, if for any reason you get extended trades or you somehow just end up getting more money, you typically can get your finished tier, get a control ward, and if you can afford it, upgrade your potion to the one that can give you mana. However, that is optional. That's only if you are superb at farming. You don't have to do that. The corrupting potion just can help out with your next back. Okay, so typically once you get your tier, you're just going to fucking go back to lane. You're going to start smacking the motherfucker anytime they get near minions, but you're still just trying to wave clear and gain a CS lead and backing at optimal times so that you aren't losing any CS and you're keeping them perpetually shoved so that they can't roam, because you will not have priority in lane. You cannot contest their roams early on. Typically around this time, you're going to want to, get about as much money as you can and try and back around level 7 or 8 and try and get a Catalyst of Eons if you can. Now, if you were lucky enough to get a gank from your jungler and get some spicy free gold, you can throw in a pair of boots with it, or you might just have to get the component parts on your second back. What you're going to be going for and building to now is Rod of Ages. Rod of Ages is incredibly good on Ryze, and it makes you incredibly tanky so that you can output massive amounts of damage even if you're getting focused. Now, once you finish Rod of Ages, you hit your first official power spike. And you can pretty much out-trade a majority of champions at this point. However, your cooldowns and your passive aren't really kicking into full gear yet. So it's a good power spike, but it's not going to fucking drastically change anything. You're not going to be 1v4ing anytime soon. After that, you're going to want to finish your boots into Sork boots if you can afford to. Some people like CDR boots. I prefer a little pin. You know what I'm saying? I like a little extra damage in there, but magic resist boots can go a long way with the tenacity. Now you're just going to want to finish your Archangel Staff because you're probably built up your tier already, and getting that, active shield can be very helpful if you are getting dove by any form of assassins or being focused by an ADC. Now, typically after I finish my Archangel Staff, that's where I consider my second power spike to be, and then I'm actively looking to see what things I can do and who is getting fed on the map to get my defensive purchase. It's around this time that I start looking for either an Abyssal Mask, Righteous Glory, or Frozen Heart. Now, if I'm incredibly fed, I will abandon those 3 items and grab a GLP. A lot of people will tell you to go with a different item, Luden's Echo, but GLP just has so much more raw utility and stuff that I love. Now, it's less AP overall, a little less CDR, but you don't have that spicy active that just allows you to get in there and proc your phase rush guaranteed. However, I typically would still go with one of the defensive items because one bad team fight can lead to one person getting fed, and it's just always nice to have a little buffer, safety buffer in there. Now, for my final items that I almost always try and pick up, my final power spike item is either going to be Rabcap or Morellonomicon. I like Rabcap because it drastically increases my overall damage, but Morellonomicon is very good in numerous situations. It can prevent healing from ADCs that have, like, you know, built that kind of items, like they have a Bloodthirster or a Blade of the Ruin King. If you're up against a Vladimir or anyone where sustain is like their primary fucking focus, like fucking Silas, the Morellonomicon is a far better item than many people will give it credit for. And then you could always throw in your final spot with a Void Staff, a GLP, Luden's Echo, or sometimes that spicy ass. Everybody loves the little Zanyas, you know what I'm saying? But you're just going to have to get into the habit of checking who's getting fed and building a little bit of defensive stats around that. So your final power spike item is either Radcap or Morellonomicon. Around that time, you should be around level, 14, 15, and you should be dishing out metric fuck tons of damage. I'm talking like 1v4 potential at Baron, where you're doing over 1,400 every 2 spells. Every time you do an EQ combo, you were just nuking somebody. And a lot of people, when they fight, they group around their ADC, so you can actually, just while focusing tanks, accidentally kill the enemy carry, which is fucking bonkers. Let's be real. You don't even have to prioritize. You don't even have to aim it, dog. They'll do the work for you. Let's be real. All right, we're going to go into the runes and stuff here, and then we're going to go into a typical game on how I play Ryze, where I do my backs, and we're going to talk about a lot of this information up front.
Ezreal, you are out farming the shit out of me, buddy. For now.
Yeah, he just has to auto. He's literally got damn near every minion in each wave. I just watched you miss that one.
Yeah, felt bad.
But it also, your mana is kind of a thing here.
Alright, as you can see here, I've expended my mana, and I've just gotten enough money for my tier and a pink ward. And we're going to go ahead and back here and keep moving on with the video. So now that I have my tier, my first goal into going to lane is looking to build my stacks, but also get as much money and farm as possible so that I can get my big power spike item at 11,000 gold. So the best way that I'm going to try and do this is harass Ezreal anytime he goes into a minion wave and look to do any sort of damage that I can. If I run out of mana, I can easily back once I hit level 6 and teleport back to lane with my ultimate. So let's watch how this plays out.
Double kill.
Okay. You thought you had a minion wave, buddy?
So I got my power spike item for 1,100 gold, and I'm in a particular situation where I'm strong enough to shove the wave now. So right now, I'm easily shoving this wave to where Ezreal cannot contest me anymore in lane. So that gives me priority over the map, and right now my lane is shoved, and it's not like I'm going to turret dive Ezreal right now. The character's far too safe, and I don't know where his jungler is. However, I see the bot lane is being shoved, so this is a good time and a good opportunity to roam. Let's see how this plays out.
Sort of halfway where you are right now, you could be at that point. I was watching a video on it. I'm gonna do a defensive ward, probably. Yeah. I don't like defensive wards. I'm coming too. I don't have ulti.
Pantheon's here.
Get rooted. Hey. I got not a lot of. Oh, the Cleaver of Destiny. Oh. Thank you for the kill, buddy. You were trying so hard to give that to me. I'm gonna try.
I ran in front of him. I wasn't gonna let him just go by.
I'm gonna try and get this cannon, and I'll be right there.
No, you're good. I'm doing health damage. Take that plate. Hey, at the bot lane.
I literally used my E. 2-0 early on. And Lucian was. Ah! I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Alright, you're not gonna kill me though.
At this point in the game, with both my Rod of Ages and my Sapphire's Embrace, I am a strong champion, and I can virtually contend with anyone, even those that are pretty fed. So now I can start making plays on the map and do metric fuck tons of damage.
One less impact.
Coming down. This could throw my lead. And I'm... Oh, shit.
Let's go, let's go.
Hey, thanks. Oh,
We're
we're
shoving
actually.
this. And then we're taking dragon immediately after.
Oh, shit. Turret, why me? All I've ever done was love you. Oh, it's going to shut me down pretty hard. It's going to get out damage before I die. Oh, I had so much money, dude.
Gonna get you, isn't he? Oh my god, that shield.
Shut down.
We pinged. They might Baron for that.
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send more than a Lulu to stop me, bitches.
Yeah, all four of them are up here.
I know, they should be respecting my
And they
power.
damn near just, he just damn near nuked Ezreal's health bar.
Team has destroyed a turret.
Made can be unmade.
Oh, hey, someone's here.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
There we go. All tier 1 turrets. Oh, GG.
What?
Victory!
Yes! Yes!
Oh my god.
Yes! Level 7.